Hey, 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 hey. Good evening, good evening, good evening, man. It is your boy, Brandon Grant, aka Mr. Bowtie, aka the Bowtie Bowler, coming to you live. I'm going live with Bowtie. Man, today, man, I don't even know. Today is a special day. Very, very special day, I should say. Man, it's first of all, I woke up this morning, so that's what made it even more special. It's special because it's International Women's Day, if you don't know. Thirdly, I have oh man, magnificent, magnificent young woman that's going to come on today and talk to us and tell us her story. So I am super, super, super duper stoked to have her even come on. And I'm just like I said, I just thank God for the friends I've gained through this and the people that I've met through not even personally, the hook me up and with this show. So no further ado, I am going to bring the, not the Miss Cheryl Daniels to the screen. Boom. Hey, hey,
Hey,
hey.
hey, Bowtie, how you doing?
Oh man, enjoying the weather. Just wish I could be back in the bowling alley soon.
Oh God, I'm hoping soon. When are you projected to go back?
The- if I wish if I had that answer, we'd be rich.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I hope it's soon, real
You and
soon.
me both.
Yeah, I know
Seriously,
you miss it.
miss is not. Sometimes we get out and bowl. We be like, man, I'm tired. I want to take a week off. Man, I don't want to take a day off. Right
Right.
about now.
It's a yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah, look, you look. What a show! How you know it's a good show already? We ain't even start talking yet.
No, we ain't talked yet.
We ain't even start talking.
Dang, sorry.
Rick
Rick
Ramsey.
Ramsey. Hey, Rick.
See, you got fans.
I got
You got
everybody.
fans. This is my guy here. Big Big. Hey, look,
Hey.
I've been working on my biceps a little bit. They not as big as yours, but I've been working, D.
Oh,
Look,
okay. All
I've
right.
been working. Look, it's there. It's getting there. But, I
Okay.
ain't going to never be as big as that guy.
You look fit though, from what I
I'm
can
trying
see.
to stay fit for sure. For sure. But no, we gonna look. Oh, this is my big brother right there. God, I love that guy.
Oh, bless your heart, Stroker.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you bad, Stroker. We gonna bowl together one time, okay? We gotta
That
get
don't you
together.
know that hey, that is that's already an unfair advantage. I don't can't do that. But no, we gonna start the show off. Like I said, we all and like I said, the reason I started this platform is we want to get to know the bowler outside the bowling alley. Like I said,
Okay.
we know, some people know your accomplishments, some people don't, myself included. I really didn't know much about you until somebody else told me. And I grew up in the
Hmm.
bowling alley, and I'm like, well, who is this person? And I started YouTubing and doing this and doing that. I was like, whoa, she's a very, very important person. Like, if you're a bowler, especially African American bowler, you better know who she was. So,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start it off by, hey, where were you born and raised?
Well, I was born in Detroit, Michigan, and I grew up in Detroit and grew up bowling at WY Seven Lanes, Wyoming 7 Mile. I mean, a lot of people from Detroit know that area. And my father's the one that got me started in bowling. He was an avid bowler. I mean, he was my greatest fan. So,
There you go.
but yeah, Detroit was, I mean, big when it came to bowling. If you really wanted to learn how to bowl, Detroit was it still is a great bowling market. But I mean, it was like, I think there was over a quarter of a million people that used to bowl, like maybe about 20 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. So it
Uh,
just in Metro Detroit. So it's like a bowling mecca. Mm.
Hey, that's what Pert said, man. Detroit it still is the bowling mecca.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And,
but why? What makes Detroit so that much special than any other place?
well, I mean, I just think it's so many people who bowl. I mean, I think the numbers used to be, I think, double at one time when they were like a quarter of a million, double any other city. I think the
Right.
next city following behind it might have been New York. And New York is a much bigger city population wise, but our bowling population was so huge. So
Right.
I don't know. It's a working, Detroit's a working class town, and so is a bowling, a kind of working man's, more of a blue collar sport. And there used to be a lot, a lot of the automobile industry had the different plants, and a lot of them had like a lot of shop leagues, and some of the centers would have leagues going like all day. They'd have 3 shifts of leagues. So
Right.
I think that contributed to it because there were so many auto workers who bowled leagues,
Hmm.
and why we had
So
so many bowlers.
that's and see. So when people that's not from Michigan think of Detroit or Michigan itself, all they think of is Ford, right?
Right. Yeah.
You don't really think, oh man, they got all the bowlers out there. You like, oh, that's where Ford is. You know, until we really start getting into the thing, to the really nitty gritty, and you're gonna be like, dang. And I didn't know until I started bowling and traveling that, man, what? Detroit, man, they got some bad men and women.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, a lot of them never went full time professional, but very, very good bowlers. I mean, potentially they could do that or could have,
Right.
but the talent, big, large amount of talent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's see. Ooh, tough lanes. Not sure if there was an honor score in that place.
Oh boy, was that place rough? Let me tell you. But
It couldn't have been
bowling
that
in
rough. Like
Detroit,
the way you said it was like,
huh?
whew.
But bowling in Detroit, what would happen is the conditions are so tough. You just about anywhere else you go. At least at that time when I was growing up,
Right.
a lot of the kids when I was a junior bowler, we never shoot honor scores. Hey, how you doing?
Hey,
A little bit. But
yeah.
we'd never shoot honor scores in Detroit area, Metro Detroit. But boy, you look at California and Texas, and they'd be killing them. Cause I mean, our shots are really brutal. A lot of reverse blocks. So I mean, you really had
Mm.
to, you had to really bowl in your league that carry any kind of average.
Oh yeah.
Except for the All Stars, they used to give them a nice shot. The All Star leagues. You probably don't. I don't know, but Perk told you about the All Star leagues. Those were some classic. Those are some awesome
Right.
leagues back in the day, and those are some hella bowlers. They would come from different parts of the country, and like the Strohs team,
Yeah.
they would actually move from certain cities and come there, and if they got signed to Strohs, which was a professional team, they can make good money. And a lot of the great bowlers would just come there and actually move there, like Perk said, to compete, and get better.
Yeah. There you go. Do you are you the only child? Any siblings?
I have an older sister who
She bowl?
she's not really into bowling. My father introduced us to bowling as a hobby. So she just did it for a couple of years. And so she really wasn't into it. But just the two of us, yeah.
All right. So mom and dad was in the house throughout your whole childhood.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's a
Yeah.
good thing. That's a
Mm-hmm.
good thing. That's
Yeah.
always a blessing because you never know, how that affects, one's outcome as they grow up.
Oh, I definitely. I would have to say my parents, I could have asked for a nicer set of parents. They were just wonderful.
There you go.
Absolutely wonderful. Yeah.
There you go. Look, besides bowling, what other sports were you interested in?
I mean, I used to play basketball. I'd say junior high. I kind of gave it up in high school. I started getting really, really good at bowling. But after getting my fingers bent backwards and bumped all in the head, I decided, you know what? I can't do both, so I'm gonna stick with the bowling. Cause my fingers are all turning green, the knuckles. I kept getting them bent backwards and stuff. So I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and pursue
So
this
you
bowling.
rather have your
How far
fingers
it
look
takes
ugly
me.
from bowling? That's what you're telling me, huh?
Say that again now.
You rather have your fingers look ugly from bowling and not
Yeah,
basketball.
that's right. I have rather had a bowler's thumb. Yeah,
That
but
is too funny.
yeah,
So
but
what?
I did like basketball a lot. You know, and I was pretty good, but height wise, I'm 5'7". That's not that tall for basketball. Not saying if you really were good, you could have made it maybe as a guard or something like that. But
Right.
it was like I like bowling so much, I decided to make a decision and I went. chose bowling, which I'm glad.
There you go. Well, what age did you start bowling?
I started in leagues at 6. My father actually had me out on the lanes before that, but I actually I started my first league at WY7, a high nooners league at 6. Yeah. I
And
think I
just
had like
kept going.
80 average or something like that my first year, 83 or something like that. So,
Look, there, Dawson. It's Dawson, right? Yeah, I think it's Dawson.
yeah,
He said,
yeah.
"What about the Chappelle bowlers from WY7?"
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Dave, yeah, and his brother. I'm trying to remember his brother's name. Yeah, but Dave, they were really good bowlers, and I mean, we had some hot bowlers. I'm telling you, he was really good. He bowled some PBA tournaments, and I know he won some scratch events. Unfortunately, he passed away. Kind of unfortunate accident
Oh,
years ago. It might have been 12, 15 years ago.
whoa,
But yeah,
whoa,
he was
whoa,
a very
whoa!
good bowler.
Look, Rick Ramsey is over here telling your secrets.
Uh-oh,
Oh
look at
wait,
Rick. He's
you sang the national anthem, huh?
yeah, I did.
Oh
Rick
wait,
pushed me to do it.
look
Pulled
at you.
me out. I did it. Cheryl.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we both. You know Super J from Chicago. You never heard of her?
Nope,
Probably. We
I've
might have to
never
get
heard
her
of her.
on. We might have to get her on one day.
Uh
But we
oh.
both we won a PWBA doubles tournament together.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's from Chicago. She was like the hot bowler from Chicago. So
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh, Growing up, and we all had our little professions growing up, or we wanted to be this. What did you want to be growing up?
oh my God, I'm trying to say, when did I really start thinking about what I wanted to do?
Yeah.
I think when I I think when I was in junior high is when I decided I wanted to bowl professionally.
In
I had
junior
the
high.
opportunity. Yeah, I think junior high. You
Okay.
know, I actually had bowled a junior that years ago. They used to have it was like the Olympics, but they had bowling involved. This is way before your time. But I think they
Look,
would do it every
I mean,
four
we all
years.
know I'm young. You ain't gotta
Right,
say.
right.
You ain't gotta tell everybody that.
Yeah, but they do it every 4 years, just like the Olympics. It wouldn't be the same year as the Olympics, but they would have basketball, they'd have tennis, they had bowling, and you would represent your city, and
Okay.
we'd all go to a certain city for the finals. And so the first year, I hate to say the year, 1971, and I bowled with Reggie Denier. We're on the same team. Lonnie Jones Sr. was my coach. He coached our team. And when I was there, we were there with all these other athletes from other sports. And I said, this is kind of interesting. Just looking at the possibility of Olympics and stuff. Well, bowling was no at that point not in the Olympics. But I
Right.
did get a chance to bowl a pro am with some women professional bowlers that were in my area. I think I was about 12,
Okay.
13. And that really sparked my interest. And I thought to myself, I'd like to do this one day. Once I'll probably go to college and, maybe try to bowl collegiately for a little while. And I would like to do that. So I would say when I was about in junior high is when I really started thinking about pursuing it for my career.
Okay. There you
Hmm.
go. And what steps did you take in order to get there?
Well, I bowled a lot of tournament competition. I joined a travel league. It was called Cecil Ward Traveling League. Now you bowled on Sunday, and all the best junior bowlers in the metro area. There was about 200 kids in this league. It was
Oh
huge,
wow.
and
Gee.
we would go to a different center every week. And because we traveled, you get to bowl in a lot of different conditions, and so it just made you sharp.
Right.
And so my father wanted me to, be exposed to not just the local house league. So when I went and bowled in that league, I met bowlers better than me. And it just kind of pushed you. But also they competed in a lot of tournaments.
There you go.
So in bowling in a lot of different tournaments and stuff like that, that just exposed me to, the possibilities and how much better I needed to get to be able to really be competitive, you
There
know.
you go. So like Aunt Allen said, have you recorded any music lately?
No, I haven't done anything lately. And how you doing, Ann?
Man.
I was just talking about you. You doing good? Yeah.
Kenny Saxon said, who was the hardest competitor you bowled against before winning your first title?
Oh my God.
Ugh.
God, I have to say all of them just about. I mean, well, none of them were giving up anything.
Right.
Um, I know my first couple of times on TV, I bowled really good, but I had 270 shot at me twice. I think I shot 250 and lost in another tournament. These were like the first couple of times I ever bowled on TV. Donna Adamek, I don't know if you ever heard of her. Donna Adamek, you
No.
ever heard of her?
Um,
Oh, she's from LA area too. I mean, she's like a miniature, but had all this power. You have to see a bowl. You have
yeah,
to
I got.
look up
Hey, trust me.
her.
YouTube got everybody. YouTube has
Right, right. And
everybody.
maybe Lisa. So you probably wouldn't even think of Lisa. She was Wrath Giver at the time, but Lisa Wagner. She was always a top competitor.
Okay.
Lita Seal. You heard of Lita Seal?
I'm telling you, see, I was out the loop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You really.
I was
Yeah,
out the
I would
loop.
say. Yeah, I mean Tish Johnson. All you heard of Tish Johnson?
Oh yes, I know Tish.
Okay, okay. Well, I can mention
Yeah,
her. She's definitely one of those tough,
yeah, I
tough
know Tish.
competitors.
Matter of
Always
fact,
tough.
I was watching a match with you and Tish. How about that?
Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah,
Tish
I
is
did my homework. I
always
was
tough.
watching. I was watching some stuff. I'm like, man, check
I
Cheryl out
gotta
over
post
here.
some of the stuff where I won. I got a lot of old stuff up there where I didn't win, so I gotta post some YouTube videos where I actually won the tournament. So
Hey,
I gotta get
hey,
busy.
all I know is that green jacket tournament. That's all. Look,
Oh, you
that's a
saw
big
that
one.
one? Oh
Look,
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
big
that
one.
really was. That was. I won't forget that one.
No, you better not. You
Oh, I
can't
won't.
forget that one. You know,
Hey,
it's
points.
you can't
Yeah.
forget that.
Oh, definitely.
Hey, great. Growing up in Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
what kind of obstacles did you have to overcome?
Just period. Had not, you mean not nothing to do with bowling, just period in
Yeah,
general.
just period.
Well,
Because basically, you. I'm not saying you're old, but you grew
right.
up in an era possibly to where you guys had to deal with some kind of racial justice, anything. So how did you overcome that to become where you are now?
I mean, in the bowling world, I would say my biggest challenge is just sometimes a lot of the bowlers that I competed with, I felt like I had pretty good camaraderie with, but it's kind of you feel isolated if you're the only black person here. You don't see any black. If you only, you don't see any black people around. It's kind of awkward feeling. You kind of feel isolated. So,
Right.
but I would say personally, the biggest thing was for me was to stay focused, not get caught up in a lot of side stuff. I mean, because when I bowling as a junior bowler, um, I mean, you were pretty much if you wanted to bowl like in the travel league, you're gonna probably be one of maybe out of 100, you might be 5 out of 100, so 1 out of 20. So a small percentage of black. So you got to learn how to be comfortable in a
Right.
lot of different situations. So that's the challenge. Is you can't let it intimidate you, and you don't always have a role model right there in front of you. So you have to be able to tap into yourself in spite of the fact that you don't have anyone that looks just like you to kind of feed off of. But
Absolutely.
I felt like most of the bowlers, especially when I was on tour, well, I had good relationships with a lot of the ladies on tour in terms of friendship. So I
Right.
didn't feel like I had a lot of racial challenges that way. I think the ones that came before me did, like Yvonne Barnes and Mars Lewis. I talked to them and they broke the ice for me. Hey, how you doing? I mean, I think they did. They broke down so many doors before I ever got there. And I think the players that I bowl with, I have a lot of friends and fans from all over the
Mm.
place. So,
See, you got me in trouble, Cheryl. You got me in
how?
trouble.
What? How? How I
Look,
get
look,
you in trouble?
look. Tennille said I should be embarrassed that. Oh
Oh,
man, you got me in trouble. I'm
oh, you
so
getting
sorry,
it
Tennille.
right?
I am. I'm so sorry. I don't. Please don't take my bowling card.
That
Please
damn
don't.
nigga's bad. I'm telling you. I actually was one of the ones I really, before I got on tour, kind of idolized. I mean, she was awesome. She had this powerful release. And, she's like a female Pete Weber to me. That's
Okay.
how I think of her.
Look, what's up? What's up, sis? Man, what's up, sis? Hey, hey. What's up, Reese? Just telling y'all, hey. Hugs, hugs, hugs. I'm so sorry. See? Oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I gotta get my bowling knowledge up. I have to,
That's
man.
okay.
I'm learning.
So you're learning today, right?
Yeah. Look, after graduating high school, where did you
Hmm.
attend college?
I went to Lawrence Institute of Technology, Lawrence Tech. It's a technical school. So I was studying architecture. So I went there for 3 years. And the first year I was there, I scrambled and put together a women's bowling team selfishly so I could try to get in some of these tournaments. Like at that time, it was called the AA, okay, AUCI, I think it was called. I don't even remember the name. But it was a prelude to the NCAA and all these tournaments that you see now. It
Right.
so um after 1 year of that and scrambling, trying to keep five ladies together, I said, well, at least I got the bowling tournament. Now I'm going to see what else I can get into. So I did bowl as a guest in a women's professional tournament as a guest. I was still in college. So it was that summer before I had to go back to school. I bowled my first event in Chicago area, Skokie,
Okay.
Illinois, and finished second, believe it or not. Nobody had ever seen me. They said, where did this little black girl come from? They had never seen me before. And I finished second to a left-hander, Patty Costello. And I mean, she just ran away. There's no way anybody on the right could have kept up with her being left-handed. And the shot, she just happened to match up so well to it.
Right.
But that's what I did is I bowled 1 year collegiately, and then after that I started bowling professional events.
Hmm. That is
Yeah.
so cool.
They've got a good team now though, Lawrence Tech. At least the men do. They have a pretty good team.
The
This
men's do.
the men do, yeah.
So, have you ever thought about coaching collegiately or a high school team?
I mean, I do some coaching with some of the high school kids. I mean, I don't have time because I have a pro shop, but
Right.
I do get on the lanes and I work with them, and I do some private lessons with them. But I don't have the time to really coach the team and then run the shop too right now. But yeah, I've thought about it collegially. I mean, down the road, I think it's evolving, and it's certainly something I've thought about.
Yeah, it's coaching your own team is something special.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
It's something special. I can say. How did you look? Here's another. How did you manage to have so much success bowling on tour, knowing that you were a minority? How did you not look at? Because when you look around and when you were on tour, it wasn't a lot of blacks. Because it's still not.
Right.
How
No.
do you turn left and right and realize like, dang, it's probably one other person or two other people that look like me?
Right. Right.
How? What did you tell yourself to say, hey, Cheryl, don't look at that?
Well, I'm gonna tell you. Before I even walked out on tour, I was on a mission. I mean, I knew some ladies from my area who they weren't black, but they were some good lady bowls, and they were telling me, "Oh, you can't make any money out there." But I thought to myself, "Well, you can't if you're mediocre, but if you're really good, you can still find a way to make a living." And so
Right.
my thing was to be a student of the game, to learn as much as I could, and to have a complete game. So mentally, I felt like winning my first title was really a big challenge to get over that hump of doing it. But in the meantime, I felt like it made me stronger. And I had to come to terms with, did I want to quit or did I want to continue to do something I really love to do? And so I made the decision that, I'm going to I'm a student of the game. I'm going to keep tightening my skills up, and I got to do what I need to do if I want to do this for my living. So that
Right.
means being disciplined. I used to get in the gym and work out. I used to read books on trying to mentally stay focused, and I actually went to a hypnotist who helped me just kind of
Mm.
get some of all this clutter and negative stuff out of my head. In fact, before I won my first tournament, I went to this hypnotist, and he helped me get out of thinking that everybody was pulling against me. Because when you get
Ah,
at that level, and I'll tell you, when you get on these TV shows and you get up there, and you can feel when people pulling against you. And a lot
absolutely.
of times when you're right there and you're in a set tier and you're bowling, and there's somebody maybe just pulling for the other bowler for whatever reason. They're on their staff or they got a relationship with that bowler. But you can feel that energy when you're on TV, and it's just so many distractions and stuff. And
Right.
so trying to fight through that meant that I had to try to develop a stronger focus and mental game where I could block out more stuff. So I think really trying to have more like a killer mentality on the inside. Uh,
Hmm.
and also reading books. I mean, I think what I see with so many bowlers that have a lot of talent is you almost got to have a mental game plan too when you bowl. It can't just be a physical game plan. You got to have a mental game plan too, and you got to understand what works for you, uh, how how you deal with pressure. And I still say, I mean, I look back and I think I could have won a lot more titles had I maybe done things differently. But at the same time, um, I still think I overcame a lot, and I'm proud of my accomplishments. But I think you just gotta have the whole picture. You got to be on a mission. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, you got to have that Mamba mentality, as
Right,
Kobe.
right.
Absolutely.
Mm.
So, how many titles did you win being out there?
On the national tour, I won 10. I
Okay.
mean, I made a lot of shows, but I won 10 tournaments. Yeah, actually won 10. Yeah.
And so, do you feel you lost those matches because you weren't mentally ready at that moment?
I mean, I would say there's a lot of variables and a lot of factors. I think when you're bowling really good, you feel like you can do anything. I mean, if you really want, I think, to be really honest, when you get to that level, a lot of the bowlers who win these just massive amount of titles
Uh-huh.
tend to have a team behind them. When I say that, they got the ball reps who are laying out equipment for them, who are feeding them equipment, who are kind of they're their eyes for them. Those who end up really, usually the ones, the superstars that end up with 20, 30 titles, usually have a little bit more of a team behind them. And you can
Right.
see on the men's tour, if you take the top players who are really out there and they're hot, they got two, three people behind them, getting them the right ball. I felt like so many times when I was on tour, I was on my own. I did not
Mm.
have a team behind me trying to help me get to the show.
Right.
And so when I got there, so many times I was on my own. I had to figure out on my own.
Wow.
And so I fought, and I'm not saying I didn't have help. Sure, I did. Now, with certain ball drills, they kind of knew your game and they would map something out that fit you. But you really need to match up a lot of times when you're out there just to
Right.
get there. And then you've got to, I think, if I knew a little more about ball drilling myself at that time, not what I know now, but then I
Right.
think if I had been a little bit more into understanding how to maybe drill some weaker layouts for myself, then I could have used my strength more. So many times I get on TV and you feel like you can't throw the ball like you need to, you can't play your A game. I feel like I'm playing a D
Yes.
game. And I think maybe had I done a little, no, been a little more knowledgeable or had a little more help getting the right piece in my hand, I might have been able to adjust to
Mm.
what was out there, because the lanes do change really quickly on TV. And a lot of times, something that worked for you all week long doesn't work when you get there.
Right.
You know,
Absolutely.
it's just the breakdown is different. You know,
The
sometimes they
lights, the
think it's
whole
going to be
shebang.
more oil. They think they're going to break down quicker, so they may put more oil. So now you got a reaction that's not what you saw during the week. And there's
Yeah.
a lot of factors too. I mean, I'm going to be honest. There are times when you would get really big incentives to throw certain balls. So I might say, okay, I did use this ball week long, but I could make just as much money if I use this ball,
Right.
whether I win or lose, you know. So sometimes you opt out for that. So sometimes I would say, hey, I can make a little more money going this route. And
Ah,
um I would do that sometimes, and maybe I should have stuck with the same ball. But
wow.
sometimes I didn't think it made a difference anyway when I got to the show, because a lot of times the conditions played a lot different anyway. So
Right,
I would
right,
go for
right.
guaranteed money, and maybe that cost me some titles. I don't know. Maybe it did. You
We'll
know, and then
never know.
also during the week you can juggle balls. You can switch between companies if you're not on the staff. When you get on the show, if you're throwing Brunswick balls, you got to stick with Brunswick. You can't pick up a Columbia, or you can't pick up a Storm. But during the week, you might pick up 2 or 3 different company balls if you're not on staff. But when you get there, you got to make a decision. And so it's a
Really?
lot of little factors. Yeah. If you want your incentive money, that's all.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look, Darren Parker, DP asks, how has the invention of YouTube helped bowling?
Well, I say it's a lot of information on the internet that you have access to a lot more. I think you've got some really good YouTube channels out there that are giving people a whole lot of information, good
Absolutely.
information. You know, so I think it's helping the game, and you know, I think people starting to realize that it's a lot more to it than they ever realized because of YouTube.
Right.
Hmm.
That's a good question there because, like I said, YouTube does have a lot. You
Oh
know,
yeah, it's tons of information. I mean, I'm
it,
out there checking it out myself.
no, like I said, hey, I'm not just bowling. I mean, I look at YouTube for a lot of stuff.
Oh, me too. I spend too much time on YouTube. Too much.
uh oh, Sherry, what's up, Sherry? She says, "I just got on. Hi, Miss Daniels. What is your occupation now? And did you have a second occupation while you were on tour?"
I have a bowling pro shop, Strike Masters Pro Shop in Novi, Michigan, and I coach. So that's what I do now. I've been doing that now for about 18 years. And no, when I bowled on tour, that's all I did. Other than I did mess around and dibble and dabble in music for a while. I got into songwriting and stuff. I didn't really make any real money at it, but I made a little bit.
Are we
I tried
are we
for
gonna
myself.
are we gonna hear a song tonight?
I don't know. This voice is kind of dry here. I don't know. I may be able to squeak out a few notes.
Oh man. Greg Lewis Jr. asked, "What was your best win on the tour?"
I'd say my best win was the U.S. Open.
Is that eagle that's sitting up there looking at us?
Yeah, that's the one up there. Yeah, that was in Blaine, just outside of Minneapolis, is where the show was. So
Right.
the tournament was held in Minneapolis, but then the TV show was in Blaine, just about an hour away. So I would say that was probably one of my greatest wins. I had to beat Tish Johnson. You remember?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I think I started in second and I had to win 2 matches. Was it two? Yeah, I had
Do
to win
you
2 matches.
prefer do you prefer to be number one seed or have a match or two under your belt?
The only good thing about one is you're guaranteed at least second place. But let me tell you, that anxiety of sitting and waiting for so long, it's just you just want to get started.
Right.
Oh, thank you, Tanil. Yeah, I think sitting on top is so nerve wracking, and I think you just want to bowl, and so you got to
Right.
get there sometimes 4 hours before the show ever starts, and you're doing interviews, you maybe drilled up equipment the night before, so you got to tweak it and make sure it fits. So it's just a lot of anxiety. So I mean, I don't know. I guess it balances out. Some people win a lot from the top position, but uh, I don't know. Probably second or third are probably the best positions, maybe a lot of times to qualify. If you're not gonna qualify first,
Right.
fourth or fifth, you down in the first match. So
Hey, so what kind of advice can you give your young African American girls that's out here playing sports, that's looking around, that may think they are the minority, to try
that
to give them some success?
you mean in bowling or just any
Nope.
sport?
In general, basketball, tennis, golf, bowling, any sport.
Say that again. The first part of it. The first part of
I
that
said, what
question.
kind of advice can you give to any of our African American young women that's playing sports right now, that they feel when they look around, they're the minority? They don't see more of them. So they feel like, man, I got to try to outshine this person. Or they got to, what kind of advice can you give them? Because you've been in that, you've been in their shoes already.
Well, I think more than anything, you've got to try. And my mother used to always tell me this: don't compare yourself to anybody else. Try to be your best you. So, um, I think you got to set goals for yourself, and then you've got to try to find those people who know more than you. Those people who can help you reach your goals. You got to try to find people that can help you get there. So you can't run with people who are going to be negative and are not going to encourage you. So you need to try to surround and find people that are going to help encourage you and help you work towards your goals. But you got to set these goals for yourself, and then you've got to, I'd say, read positive literature, positive things to encourage yourself. Because there's stories out there like Althea Gibson and Serena Williams. There's all these people broken through,
Right.
and then you just need to, that can motivate you. I remember seeing Jackie Robinson's story right before a tournament. It was one of these tournaments I just happened to kind of be in the room, kind of lonely, and I saw that story on TV, and it motivated me so much. And I went back the next night and made the show, came kind of out of nowhere. So I just think you need to find stories that motivate you
Hmm.
and use that, to encourage yourself. But don't ever let anybody tell you can't do something,
There you go.
because I think the sky's the limit if you set your mind to it and you focus on it.
There you go. Hey,
Definitely.
Dawson asks, what do you think about Gigi Mason?
Gigi Mason. Oh, you putting me on the spot. Gigi Mason.
Gigi is the young African American on tour right now with the Afro Puffs.
With the Afro Puffs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, she throws the ball good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Slender
yeah,
looking.
that's Gigi.
Oh, yeah, she got a nice game. Simple too, but she's got that strong release, more modern type release, and that kind of roll where you can adapt it to a lot of different conditions.
Yeah. And see this, there you go, look, this Gigi mama right here. Hey
Uh-oh.
Danielle, what's up? Yeah, that's Gigi mom right there.
Oh yeah, she's not getting no help.
See? See? I think
Yeah,
hey,
that's
I
what I'm
think I
saying. You
think
on
hey,
your own
maybe
when
you
you
hey,
get
maybe
out
you should
there.
reach out. Or maybe
You almost
Gigi
got
should
to
reach
bring your
out.
own little team with you.
Yeah, that support system is huge.
It is. It is. Because you
Seriously.
look at these golfers and tennis players, they got like a little team with them. And in bowling, a lot of times, it's not as much money in it, so you don't have it. But it really helps if because a lot of the bowlers, they're trying to win their money themselves. So they're not going to do too much to help you. I mean,
Right,
they
right.
made to a point. But, you got to bowl against them.
Uh-oh. Look, being a part of the Detroit Black Bowlers Hall of Fame, what does that mean
Yeah.
to you?
I met, Daryl Dawson been around for forever. I don't want to say forever, but he asked me to be on the board, and honest perk, I'm gonna help out. I'm gonna do a little more help.
Oh,
For
you don't help as much. See, Pert did say
No,
that. I'm
I
not
am.
putting
I
Pert. I'm not
definitely
putting
am.
Pert on in the chair though. He did say
Right, right.
Cheryl need to step up.
No, I will. I will. I got more time. I just moved and everything. It's just been challenging this past year. But it's I think it's always good to have organizations that recognize bowlers for their accomplishments. And I think, sometimes people go unnoticed, and aren't included. And I think there's a lot of really good bowlers that haven't been. So I think what he's trying to do with this deal is to make it be more inclusive, to be recognized at the African American Museum, because right now bowling is really, Black people in Detroit have a story to tell when it comes to bowling. And you can even go back, way back to Joe Louis. He had 20 grand. They said he built one of the finest bowling centers ever built. I think it was in 1942, and it was something like he spent like $500,000
Oh
back
wow.
then on this bowling center. And it was connected to a club and everything. I forgot. I
Right.
think it might have been called Fantasy Lanes or something like that. But there's a story to be told, and I think what Daryl's doing is trying to tell the story, but at the same connect the past to the present and the future. So I think it's
Absolutely.
a good. I think we need to do that. We can't forget our past, just like TNBA. We can't forget our past. We have to connect it all together: the past, the present, and the future. And I think
So
that's
when
what
you
we're doing.
hear, when you yourself, Cheryl Daniels, hears TNBA, what do you think that means back then? We're gonna come to the then, now, and the future. Back then, when you heard TNBA, what comes to mind?
Well, the the only opportunity for blacks, because back in the 50s and stuff, with ABC and all the stuff, you couldn't even compete, and a lot of these bowling centers you couldn't go into.
Right.
So I know they formed, I think in 1939, they got together, I think in Cleveland, and they formed TNBA. So it's something that I hope they always keep intact, and they never try to merge really with anybody. I think you should always keep your organization intact, and it's got a great history. TNBA,
Right.
you got bowlers like I'm trying to think of one of the first ones. Well, Gordy. I just did an event about, well, it's probably been 2 years ago now, honoring Gordy, one of the
Uh,
out of the Motown family.
yep.
Yeah, he was a very avid bowler, and I'm trying to think of his first name. I'm drawing a blank here, but he was a very avid bowler, and he actually bowled some PBA events. I think in the late '50s he was able to, and
Okay.
he was a supported TNBA. So
Now, when you hear TNBA today,
right.
look, just hear, look, why you, why you smile like that? Why you smile like that? Like,
Because
oh boy.
everybody gets mad when they start talking about TNBA. So I'm not gonna bash TNBA though, boy. I love you, TNBA.
Look, we're not bashing.
Right. You trying to be
We are just
objective.
trying to make it better.
Right. I agree. I agree. Well, you
Yeah,
do need some young. I think you need some young input. Because just like a lot of these bowling organizations, after a while, you gotta get some young, fresh blood. So, wouldn't you agree?
absolutely. I
Yes,
do agree.
I think that's what you need really, for some younger people to step up, and everybody's got to try to figure out how they can work together, but you definitely need it, because the game has changed. It's not really like it was back then, and seems
Yeah,
like some of the mixed events really do really well, and just need to get together and probably have people from all eras, people from the past, some of the younger people, and even some of the teenagers talking their input and see what you can put together and try to make it kind of match the times that we live in.
Absolutely. And
Right.
yeah, and I honestly, when I bowl TNBA events, sometimes I feel we're not trying to kick the older generation out,
Right. Right.
but it's just like they get stuck in their ways. And when they
Right.
get
Right.
stuck in their ways, it's just like things will never change. We are just trying, like, has changed. Like it went from
Right.
slavery to this, from this to that, to this to that.
Right.
And it's the
I
same
agree.
thing in the bowling community. We're just trying to keep migrating and moving forward and stop
Right.
moving back.
Right. I know. I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, do you have? I mean, do you like have like input box, or do they have like a suggestion box or anything?
I really don't know. I really
Well, maybe
look,
everybody
hey,
get together with some suggestions and send it in and tell
Ed,
them.
I'm kind of in the middle. I'm kind of in the middle, Ed. Come
Right,
on,
right,
man. But yeah,
right,
I don't know. We just, like I said, we talk about TNBA all the time, and we do want it to succeed.
right.
So I
Definitely.
just, we just need to figure out how to get the older group with the younger group, and not bash heads as much, but bounce ideas off each other. Because
Right.
yeah,
You
some
need
of the
that.
things that they do and some of the things we do may do something amazing,
Right.
but they have to
I
be
know
willing
what you're
to
saying.
change. Yeah,
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah. Um, I think all organizations have to be willing to try to modernize. I know it can be painful, but those who have really creative ideas and stuff, they need to all sit down and try to see what they can do. And I mean, and people got to be willing to change too. But definitely, we don't want to give up on it. But we definitely want to get, maybe that should be like a something that, I don't know. Maybe I can talk to some people and see if they could maybe just get a campaign or something going where people start coming up with some different ideas. Especially with what all we're going through with this COVID and all this stuff. There's so much stuff going on we've never had to deal with, and so
right.
this might be the time to really rethink kind of how you want to do things. And
Absolutely. I agree.
I don't know. Offhand, I can't really think of any suggestions I would make right now without I would consult some younger people and see. First thing I would do is say, what would you like to do? And then maybe talk to some people in their early 20s saying, what are you looking for?
And so,
And
what gets me, and like I said,
mhm,
I'm like I said, we're not bashing, but we want to
mhm,
just talk. Like I said, you've been there,
right.
you are a very accomplished African American bowler, and
Hmm.
you've been through a lot.
Hmm.
Sometimes as we get to TNBA events, we ask ourselves, when was the last time any of those people that's running TNBA
Right.
threw a ball?
Yeah, right. Right. That's true.
No, seriously.
I
You
agree.
guys
Yeah.
sit back there in the room and chit chat, but when have you really got out there and thrown a ball and bowled a tournament? If you don't really know what's really going on, how are you gonna try to fix something?
Well, that's true too. That's
I'm just
true.
saying. Yeah.
I know a lot of times though, with a lot of these tournaments and stuff, there's a lot of work running them. So I think some of them, I mean, I know some younger people don't want that headache of all the details of running an event. So I think the people that end up doing it are those people who might have more time and they tend to be older. But a lot of young people, it is tedious, some of that stuff. So I don't know. I really think people we do need to get together and talk down and figure something out.
And like I said, Robert Danzy, he's up, I think, oh crap, I forgot.
Both don't wanna work.
But he's like you said, bowlers don't want to work.
No, they don't. Right, right. And they don't run by themselves, those tournaments. They really don't. It's a
No,
lot
they
of work
don't.
with those things.
I agree. So
Yeah,
look,
it is.
you see my little ticker going across the bottom down there. It say Happy International Women's Day.
Yep.
Albany. There we go. It's New York. There you go. That's where I knew he's on the East Coast somewhere, but I couldn't remember where.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this
that's
is
that's where he's
Women's
from.
Month, March, and this is Women's International Day. So,
So being that it's International Women's Day, and you
mm,
know had so much, you're a successful woman.
right.
What does that really mean to you? Having your own day, like this is about us. It's not about nobody else.
I mean, I think it's nice, you get to like, you listen to the radio and different events, and there's different events and people who have the input where they're talking about certain women that maybe you've never even heard of, but you get a chance on a day like today to hear about some unique people and some women you never knew their contribution. So I think it's nice to honor people from different fields, women. Um, I mean, I don't know what else to add other than I think it's good. It's a positive thing.
It's a positive thing. There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
See, Greg Lewis said you helped bring Detroit to the forefront of the bone in the 80s and 90s, 2000.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, I mean you some look. That mean you somebody.
Well, okay. I'm gonna accept that. I'm not gonna argue with it.
Oh, look, Rick
I'm gonna
said
be
both times. Be
modest.
careful. Be careful how you talk about old people. I like the. I don't talk about them. It's just, yeah, I don't really know what to call it, Rick. I'm sorry. Okay.
We know
Uh,
what you mean.
you know what you hey, see? Cheryl
I
know
know what
what
you
me.
mean.
I appreciate
Yeah.
it. Cause look, when we get off this show, they might try to get me.
Hey, you never know.
No,
You gotta
no,
with Facebook and all this stuff, they find out where you live and everything.
absolutely. Let's see. What about Bolly Brown or Boley Brown?
Bowley Brown, yeah. I actually sub with the Motown team. I bowled with the ladies for a while. When I first came out of junior leagues, so I was Yvonne Barnes, Lavoya Brown, Frida Gates. God, well, oh Lord, don't get me going. I'm
Yeah.
missing. Oh, Mars Lewis. So I did sub with them a few times because
Okay.
they now see they broke the ice, because when they came into that ladies on Star League, Yvonne Barnes used to be, she was a friend of mine, a mentor, and she would tell me all the stories and how they came into the league and nobody wanted them there. But they came in there and I think she said they ended up winning, I think, that first year. But the All-Star Leagues were really prestigious. I mean, we had some really good bowlers and everybody had their uniforms and,
Right.
looked all professional and everything.
Was that the polyester that y'all used to wear?
I don't know. These outfits look pretty nice though. They had the Motown. Motown. They were looking pretty good with their outfits and everything. But I
Right,
don't know.
right, right.
I with cotton back then. I don't know about polyester. If we talking about way back, it might have been before polyester. That's pretty. But yeah, I didn't sub with them. It was like in the when was it? The 80s or late 70s. But yeah, I remember Lavoie. In fact, when I got inducted in the Michigan State Hall of Fame the same year as Lavoia Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
So yeah, I know Lavoia. Yeah.
Let's see. Art Jones. There we go. Art Jones says one of the biggest issues is mixing the high caliber scratch bowlers and the handicap bowlers and have them compete for the same money. It's not fair for the handicap bowlers, and they comprise the majority of the tournament. How do you think? What do you think about that?
Are you talking about what TNBA or
Yeah,
just
I get
any
that.
tournament?
TNB. We went back to TNBA. That's TNBA. Yeah.
Well, now this is what I think. I know I was listening to your for your telecast last with Ed Pert
Yeah.
last week, and now this is my thing. If you're gonna have league bowlers, I mean, you may have to have different divisions or something. Maybe that's what you need to do. But I mean, there are people who don't really support TNB and they just buy a card real quick and then they are able to compete in a tournament, or
Right.
they can sanction through their league. To me, they should maybe make a rule. Now, this is one thing I think. Let's say you have a league and you've got three people to decide they're going to buy a TNBA safety card. Nobody else in the league does. So you're really just kind of buying your way into TNBA. To me, I think you should have to bowl in a league where maybe at least half the league is sanctioned in TNBA before you
Right.
can compete in a tournament, or 60%. And then that will either force more of the people in the league to sanction through TNBA, or you have to go to a league that's actually a TNBA league.
Right. Right. Right.
And then you might be able to weed out some of these high average bowlers who just, a lot of them just buy the card through their league, or they just buy it when they get there. And you might be at least get rid of some of them who aren't supporting, or at least aren't supporting the organization except for the tournament.
Correct.
But yeah, they gotta figure something out. What do you think? Because you're bowling scratch, so what do you think?
How
Because a
you
lot of
know I'm
scratch
bowling
people say
scratch?
they don't have a prayer when you do the handicap.
Well, see the
If
thing.
they say, if the person's sandbagging, they'll say, I don't
And
know.
see, that's the sad part right there. We
Right,
cannot stop these people from sandbagging. These people that should be
right,
215, 220, they come
right,
in at 2-0, and now
right,
you want to sit there and talk about, oh, well, we need to have our own division. Well, your division is up there where I am at 220
right,
plus.
right.
So
That's where you should
stop
be.
trying to cheat the system, first of all.
Right,
How
definitely.
about that? And if you can't compete with your 220 bowlers, well, you need to either get out and practice
Right,
or stop bowling. Because, like
right,
you said, you're cheating the handicap bowlers. The reason they have their own kind of division is
right,
because they're doing it. They enjoy doing it, but
right,
they're not living off of it. And all these
right,
people that be
definitely.
sitting here trying to get in all the scratch brackets and all the handicap, dude, stop that.
Right,
It's just not fair to them.
right.
You
It
know, and
isn't. Yeah.
it and that's how I look at it. Like, and they have their division for a reason. Let them
Right,
have their division.
right. I agree because they did it with the when I used to bowl, it used to be WIBC. It's USBC Women's now, but they used to have
Right.
like the classic division. It was separate, and so all the scratch bowlers would bowl in their division, and then you would have, the different tiers below that. And when
Correct.
they just got rid of the classic division for the really high average bowlers, for me, it's not much of an incentive to go anymore. So I don't. I hate to say it, but I don't even go anymore. I think I had bowled about 20 years straight, and then when they did that, I
Right.
stopped bowling. But I know what you mean. You got to kind of get those divisions straight, or otherwise somebody really gets kind of screwed one way or the other.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
right, so
And see, USBC, they do that now. Like you said, they have their different division. It's like a Ruby and this and that. They
mm-hmm,
all have their different divisions, which, is a good thing. It is. So,
mm-hmm.
are you drinking that to get your voice ready? You about to sing for us?
Oh God, my voice is so hoarse. You hear me?
Look, look, Alex Robinson said, "Hey Cheryl, how you been?"
Doing good. How you doing?
So, how long have you been the owner of your pro shop?
I've been at Strike Masters Pro Shop for 18 years now. When the tour folded, I said, "Oh, I got to do something here." Because I had been drilling for years anyway, but I never
Right,
had the pro shop because I was always traveling on tour.
right.
So I been there 18 years now.
Okay,
Same center. Yep.
there you go. So, where are you located?
I'm located in Novi, Michigan, so it's about from Detroit. It's probably about 25 minutes. It's
How
kind of
close
north
are to you? Look, how
and
close
west.
are you to Thunderbolt Lanes?
Oh, Thunderbolt is like south and kind of west. I'm probably like 35 minutes from Thunderbolt.
Because that's the
I'm
only place I've been. So, if you say I'm
right.
about 30 minutes away, then
Have you ever been to Super Bowl? That other center?
I've been to another one out there, but I forgot the name of it.
It might have been Super. It's about 60 lanes. It's pretty big, also. A
Yes,
white building. Yeah,
yes.
I'm closer to that. I may be about 15 to 20 minutes from there. I'm
Okay,
just like north of there. If you went straight north, I'm just almost straight north of Super Bowl, which is in Canton.
Okay.
But for those people from Detroit, I'm down the street from like 12 Oaks Mall. If you're from Detroit area, I know they've been to the mall there.
There you go. Look, Dan Parker said, "What are your thoughts on bowling becoming an Olympic sport?"
I mean, I think it should be in there. They lit everything else in there. No, really, they got some stuff in there I never even heard of. Um, it's just politics from what I hear. Yeah, but I think it should be in there. Definitely.
Yeah. Let's see. She's been there forever drilling Darlene
Well,
balls.
come on in. I'm there.
Uh-oh. Look, James Hardy say, growing up, what women bowlers did you look up to?
Well,
Look, I'm gonna
I
cover my
would.
ears because I know I probably know no one you about to talk about.
Well, I mean, I could say locally, some of the local bowlers that I know inspired me. I know Yvonne Barnes with Motown. You know, that team is inspiring. Was inspiring. Some of the ladies in the All Star League, like there were some other ladies, like there was a lady named Cora Feebig and CHERYL. They had a team that was really a competitive women's team, also. So those were locally, but I'd say if I were to say professionals, I would say as a junior bowler, I would say I still say Donna Adamick was one of the ones that really stood out when I was coming along because she had a kind of unique style and she was a really good junior bowler. And I heard about her as a junior, but then when
Right.
she went on to the women's tour, she did really good right away. So her career just kind of, took right off right after junior league. So I would say she was one I admired. But locally, I can say, I could say that Yvonne Barnes, she was a mentor. She always talked to me. We would, just discuss things, and she kind of got me to think of trying to be tough and, you know, not let anybody kind of get to you. So I would say she was kind of like a mentor to me. And, Mars Lewis was a really good mentor locally where I could talk to her whenever I, had, some concerns about something. They kind
Yep.
of told me kind of what to expect, getting out there on your own. So I
All right.
appreciate them.
So when you were on tour, what brand were you throwing?
Oh, well, I mean, I threw everything at first. When the first company I signed with was Columbia
Okay.
300. But I mean, prior to that, I mean, I thrown a lot of hammer equipment. Then I signed with Columbia. Then after that, I stayed with them a year and a half, and I'll be really honest. What happened was the game started changing. They started coming out with the um, large weight blocks. Hammer had the large blocks, and I would do really good on synthetic lanes with hammer equipment. But when I signed with Columbia, they hadn't come out with these really big blocks yet. They still had the pancake block, like in the U dots and the white dots and stuff. And it was like you were kind of behind the times. You couldn't compete. So I stayed with them about 17 months and I ended up I got out of my contract
Yep.
and I ended up just kind of being a free agent, and I threw a little bit of everything again. Then I signed a limited contract with Storm. And it gave me the option of doing different things. I actually could throw other stuff if I wanted to.
Okay.
And it was more incentive based. But I do want to say one thing. I was the first professional to win a tournament on TV with a Storm bowling ball. Nobody ever won with their ball on TV until I won with the Firestorm. I made
Wow.
so much money with that ball.
So is this the first woman or the first bowler?
First bowler to win. There were others who had made the show with it, but I was the first one to actually win a title with it. This is
Wow.
in
That's huge.
1995. So yeah, they were kind of small at that time, but they but I didn't have a full contract with them. It was really more like a limited contract because of what had happened to me with Columbia. I didn't want to get trapped where I was stuck with one company. So I had more of what they call a shirt contract, but I had incentives to use their ball on TV if I wanted.
Wow.
I'll tell you
Jerry
what
Johnson.
happened to me when I signed with Columbia, I had won 4 out of 6 tournaments. And when I signed with them and we started bowling all these synthetic surfaces, and at that time they just didn't have any equipment, Columbia that matched, I was stuck. And it's like I felt like that taught me a lesson. If I'm gonna sign with a company, unless I'm getting a whole lot of money, uh, I need to at least either get paid a whole lot, which wasn't happening for the women, or I need to be more of a free agent. So I kind of pretty much was a free agent most of my career.
Hey, Jerry Johnson asks, what is the most valuable tip you received as a bowler?
Boy, oh boy. I got a lot of tips. God, most I mean, it's. I would have to say, just I think right before I think I won my first one, I have to give one of the ladies on tour a plug. Robin Romeo. You know Robin Romeo?
Why are you gonna do that to me again, Cheryl? Didn't we talk about this? You're supposed to be
And she's
looking
from
out for
LA
me.
area now too. I mean, she used to be from New York. But she just said to me right before I bowled on TV, she said, like Nike, just do it. And when she said that, I said, yeah, just do it. And I think I won that tournament. I said, I was too busy thinking about everything that could go wrong and trying to be perfect.
Right.
And she said, just do. In other words, you got to be in the moment. So she said that. I thought that was a really good tip. I mean, I've had some other ones, but I thought that was a really good tip right before I bowled one of my final matches on TV. So I got to give her a plug
There you go.
for that.
That's what's up.
No, that was a good tip.
Man. Well, look, Miss Daniels, hey, I truly, truly appreciate you coming on sharing your story. That is like I said,
Okay.
and I'm gonna continue to watch some YouTube videos because, like I said, I'll look at you throw the ball. I'm like, look at Cheryl over there. So now I'm putting the face with the ball and the bowler.
Right. Uh-huh.
I got that.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me here. I'm going to be
Absolutely.
tuned in every week now,
Hey, like I
checking
said,
you out.
if you know anybody, any names, shoot me some names. Let's get them on here.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah.
Now, I want everybody to know about my website. They want to visit me.
Yo, what's the website?
Okay, it's
Yep.
strikemastersproshops.com.
Strike Masters Pro Shop.
And you know what else? I do video analysis. The way I do that, like you can be in another state. We don't have to be on the lanes together, but you can always shoot me a video and I can critique it for you. I have a certain software where I can mark it up and write in suggestions, and you get your video sent right back to you. So, I mean, anybody wants to just tighten their game up. Now, only thing, put an S in there, Strike Masters. It's a
Strike.
S.
Okay, I
It's a
got you.
S. Yeah, Strike Masters Pro Shop.
Got you.
But yeah, video analysis. I mean, all I need is a shot from the back behind that right shoulder and a side view, and I can break that game down for you.
Y'all
Give you
hear it
some
right
points.
there. Y'all hear it right there from the own Miss Cheryl Daniels, Miss U.S. Open, green jacket Cheryl Daniels.
That's right.
Look, I'm telling you, look, when I watched that video last night, I was like, well, what was it last night? It was a couple nights ago. I'm
Right.
sitting there and it was just like, I got chills. I was like, man, she about to get on the show. Like, I felt
Right.
like, what? Oh, I got a U.S. Open champion on my man, get out of here.
Well, it's a pleasure. I'm enjoying myself. I hope I didn't talk too much or ramble.
No, no, no. This isn't. It's like I said. This isn't regulated by the FAA. We hey,
Right.
we do what we want. We always have red cups. Well, I always have red cups.
Okay. What's that? That's Bowtown there, right?
That is a bow tie
Look
on
at
there.
you. Look
Hey,
at you.
Gigi Mom made that for me.
You selling those?
Go to Sparkling Crystals. Sparkling Crystals. Yeah, that's what it is. Sparkling Crystals. That's her Facebook page. The
Sparkling
whole
crystal.
shebang.
Okay, I'm gonna check that out for sure.
Yes.
That's really cute.
I tell you, when this came in the mail, it was like the best gift ever. Sparkling Crystals. Go check her
I'm
out.
writing it down now.
Yes. And also go talk to Gigi if you get a chance. Just kind of give her, some of your helpful hints.
Okay.
And I'm sure she would most definitely appreciate that for sure.
Okay, I definitely will.
Yeah. Well,
Cause
look,
her
you have.
mom, like her mother, needs to make sure she Facebooks me or something.
I'll make it happen. I will try to get that connection so y'all can start talking.
Okay,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. So that's a good thing, man. And see, I love it. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate that.
Okay, you're welcome, Bowtie.
Yeah. Well, look, I so whenever I get out to Detroit area, I will get in contact with you so we can finally meet face to face.
Okay, that sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
All right. Well, look, you have a great, great evening, and I will talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right, Cheryl.
Hey, you take it easy.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
All right. Bye bye now.
That was the U.S. Open, Miss Cheryl Daniels. Guys, if you missed that interview, go back and listen to her story. Man, she has some great, great, great advice. She had a lot of information. She's coming from the bowling mecca, Detroit, Michigan. She has her own pro shop, Strike Master Pro Shop. It's a lot. It's a lot. It is, man. And like I said, being African American, happy, like I said, happy International Women's Day for all of you guys. It doesn't matter if you're working, you're a sports player, whatever. You own your own business. Happy day, happy Women's Day to you guys, to you ladies, man. You guys most definitely um, deserve it. So, but like I said, thank you guys for everything, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. I most truly, truly appreciate all the support. And man, it's time to go get outside and go get this work in now, man. So God bless, man. And man, bow tie out. Peace.